What's up, YouTube? Welcome to my review of the Prodigy X5. Big thank you to Michael Gibney for sponsoring this review. He is the captain of the Prodigy Street Team, and he's been very generous to me and hooked me up with a bunch of great Prodigy plastic to test and review. I still have a few other ones to check out after this, and I appreciate his support very much. Go into the description below to find a link to Michael Gibney's channel if you want to check out his content. Unboxing new molds from Prodigy and his kind of documenting some travels for disc golf and all that kind of good stuff. So, Prodigy 400 series plastic X5. Take a look at this thing first of all. So you can see it's got some dome to it for sure. It's got a little bit of pop, as I think you can hear. Definitely a little dome top on it. Take a look at the rim profile. Well, first of all, it's 174 grams. And X5-4 for 400 series plastic, so you have all that information there, which is nice. Looking at the rim profile, you can see it's got a very characteristic kind of bump in the middle there. Quite unique and very interesting for sure. So you can see it almost looks like a waved effect from the edge to this bump to this little ridge right there. It's interesting. It's not something you really notice, though. Honestly, in the hand, you don't notice that ridge at all. But it is there, and it is somewhat noteworthy. Comfortable feel in the hand, though. It's nothing terribly sharp. I'd probably put this thing around a speed 12 or 13 or so. I'm not exactly sure what the flight numbers would be on like an Innova or kind of dynamic disc type scale in the 4-number system, but not really all that concerned about it either. Let's put it up next to a couple other things. Here's a Prodigy X2. Let's do a little side-by-side on this one. Very shiny disc, so it's a little bit tough to get a look at it. Have the camera focus well on those outside edges there. But there's a little look at it for you. Also, a couple of discs similar to the X5 that I already have in my bag that I kind of tested alongside it. Trespass. These prime ones start really overstable, but one of my broken-in Lucid Trespasses wasn't totally out of the ballpark for the X5. Somewhat similar, just a little bit more overstable, more fade for sure. There's a Trespass. Here is a Thrasher, another disc out of my bag that is somewhat similar in roll. I'd say the Thrasher is probably a little bit more understable though. The 400 series plastic is probably one of my favorite plastic types on the market. Not probably, it is. It is one of my favorite plastic types on the market. It's tremendous. I love the grip of it. Super grippy, very comfortable feel. The flight plate has a lot of give and flexibility to it, which allows it to kind of give under the thumb and in your hand. Has a very secure, super grippy feel to it, but it's also firm enough that it releases cleanly and doesn't get kind of hung up on your hand. So it's got a beautiful all-around feel that I really, really like. I think it's some of the best out there. So let's talk about the flight of this thing. It's very straight overall. Nice hyzer flip disc. You can start on a little hyzer, have it stand up to flat, and fly dead straight down the line from there. It's also very low fade, especially for a high-speed disc. I would say the fade is very minuscule for something this speed range. It really likes to stay straight and doesn't really drop off at the end. It will finish slightly to the left depending on the height and the power that you put on it. If you had a big arm, I could see it just moving right all the way, just on a long kind of smooth turnover. Because for me, I don't find it to be terribly flippy, but it holds the angle very nicely. So with a little hyzer, it will stand up and fly very straight. And if I release it with some anhyzer, that's where it was really flying beautifully for me. Turning very soft and panning out to the right, and then kind of flattening out, hooking back up to the left, but all very smooth and in a very straight line overall, and stretching extra distance. So just have some more hang time and has a bunch more distance when you had that nice little anhyzer release. Just kind of pull it over, let it work out, but it was very smooth and still stayed pretty much dead in line with where I was trying to throw it. So that's a great way to stretch some extra distance out of this disc. If you had a slower arm speed, I would see it being somewhat stable, just considering that it's still high speed and you still need to put a good pull on it to get it to fly straight, and certainly need to have some arm speed to get it to start moving to the right. But it's still a good option for that. If you are a lower arm speed player looking for something in the higher speed ranges to test out and kind of play around with, the X5 could be a good option for that. If you're a big arm player, I think it's going to be more of a hyzer flip to late turn, flat, kind of powered down, smooth to the right all the way, maybe rollers if you really get over on it. should work out well for that as well. Ultimately, great disc, good distance, and a nice workable stability where it stands up very easily, but it's not super flippy and hard to control. That's my review of the X5. Thanks for watching. I'll check you later. Cheers.